Texas Stadium, Irving, Texas. 73 degrees, light rain, and out onto the field for their home opener come the Dallas Cowboys. Bill Parcells in his 4th year out of retirement, leading the Cowboys against Joe Gibbs in his 3rd year post-retirement, and the Washington Redskins on Sunday Night Football. Al Michaels, John Madden, Andrew Kramer. Welcome to Texas Stadium. Washington comes in 0-1. They opened up on Monday night, squandered a lot of chances against the Minnesota Vikings. John Hall couldn't kick a game-tying field goal at the end of regulation. They lose 19-16. Dallas, meanwhile, led 10-0 at Jacksonville last week before the wheels came off down there. And in that game, Drew Bledsoe threw 3 interceptions as the Jaguars beat the Cowboys 24-17. For the last 2 months, of course, it's all been about Terrell Owens. But things are fairly quiet, John, on that front. But very noisy now on the Drew Bledsoe front, especially after last week. How important is tonight's game for the Cowboy quarterback?
Right, and that usually happens. You know, the quarterback loses. You start off 0-1. You throw 3 interceptions. We want Tony Romo. We want the backup. Bill Parcells, maybe in the future, but not so fast. We're going to stay with Drew Bledsoe. And as Bill Parcells told us yesterday, he said it's going to be interesting to me to see how Drew Bledsoe responds to last week. And I just have a feeling, maybe it's the players that he has against the defense of the Redskins. I have a feeling that Drew Bledsoe is going to respond well tonight.
Meanwhile, Romo has never thrown a regular season pass. As far as Washington is concerned now, Clinton Portis was not expected to play last week, but did. Then he hurt his shoulder again, so he will not play tonight. How will that affect the Redskins?
Yeah, I think that's big, because if you look at Joe Gibbs' teams and now Al Saunders as the offensive coordinator, even at Kansas City, they were run teams, and they love to run the ball downhill, make you play the run, then throw play-action pass. And without the run, I think a lot of the offense tonight is going to go on the shoulders of Mark Brunell.
One thing each thing is thankful for, the Giants beat Philadelphia, so the loser goes to 0-2, but would still only be a game out.
But they need a healthy Clinton Portis.
Meanwhile, Sean Sweezum will kick off. Mike Vanderjagt, who they picked up from Indianapolis in the offseason and was inactive last week, is active tonight. He will do the field goal kicking, but they'll go with 2 kickers tonight. Flashballs popping. Home opener at Texas Stadium in Irving as the kick is taken by Rock Cartwright at the 8-yard line. And a great tackle in the open field by Sam Hurd, a rookie out of Northern Illinois at the 22. Here's the Washington offense.
Mark Brunell, University of Washington.
Liddell Betts, Iowa.
Mike Sellers, North Thurston.
Santana Moss, the U.
Brandon Lloyd, Illinois.
Chris Cooley, Utah State.
Chris Samuels, Alabama.
Derek Dockery, Texas.
Casey Raubach, Wisconsin.
Brandon Thomas, Mississippi State.
John Jansen, Michigan.
Very good offensive line. Jansen, 7th year out of Michigan. But the question is now, can they provide the holes for the backup backs?
The Redskins are starting out here with 3 wide receivers.
And they send Moss in motion to the inside. They're going to go right to the air on play action. Great protection. Brunell loves to throw to the outside and starts by going to the outside to Liddell Betts for a gain of 7. Here is the Dallas D.
Marcus Spears, Louisiana State.
Jason Ferguson, Georgia.
Chris Canty, Virginia.
Greg Ellis, the University of North Carolina.
Brady James, LSU.
Aiken Adele, Purdue.
Marcus Ware, Troy.
Terrence Newman, Kansas State.
Patrick Watkins, Florida State.
Roy Williams, Oklahoma.
Anthony Henry, South Florida.
Watkins is a 6'5" rookie. There is Ware in his 2nd season. The gain on the last play was 6. The ball spotted at the 27-yard line on 2nd down and 4. On the ground, they go to Betts. Liddell Betts, 5th-year, 2nd-round draft choice in 02 out of Iowa. 3rd and short. Ware makes the hit.
Boy, is that DeMarcus Ware a good player? You know, he was a defensive end in college. Bill Parcells made him a linebacker defensive end. Here he is, 94. He plays off Cooley's block. Hold it, and then just come off that block right to the ball carrier. That's about as well as you can play that run.
At the 28-yard line, it's 3rd down and 4.
The Redskins have 3 wide receivers again, and the Cowboys are in nickel or 5 defensive back defense.
Slot left is Antoine Randall L., the ex-Pittsburgh Steeler. Brunell looks the other way, and then the pass over the shoulder of Betts looked one way and they had to go the other, and it's incomplete. So they start with a pass to Betts, a run by Betts, go back to Betts, and the end result is 3 and out.
You know, we were talking to Al Saunders last night, the offensive coordinator. He wanted to throw deep. He wanted to be aggressive early in the passing game, and I think they tried to do that, but the Cowboys had good coverage, and Brunell had to come down to the short guy.
Derek Frost to do the punting. Patrick Creighton back to receive the kick. Good distance, but a low kick that may set up a run back for Creighton, and not a bad one at that as he takes it back to the 33-yard line. So the first kick of the night is 48 yards, 11-yard return. Here's the Dallas offense.
Drew Bledsoe, Washington State.
Julius Jones, Notre Dame.
Lusaka Polite, Pittsburgh.
Terrell Owens, Tennessee Chattanooga.
Terry Glenn, The Ohio State University.
Jason Witten, Tennessee.
Flozell Adams, Michigan State.
Kyle Kozar, Arizona State.
Andre Gerard, Colorado.
Marco Rivera, Penn State.
Mark Colombo, Boston College.
Retooled offensive line. So here is Owens in his first home action as a Cowboy. And they go to the outside, and they go to Glenn, who was operating out of the slot. And Glenn up to the 37-yard line on the first penalty of the game. Referee for tonight's game is Tony Correnti.
You know, of all the things Terrell Owens does, he is also a blocker, and that's the way they used him on that first play. Throwing that quick out there to Terry Glenn and having Terrell Owens as a lead blocker.
Call came in from the side judge. Now the umpire checks in with Correnti as well.
In fact, that penalty could be for the block that Owens laid.
Well, the side judge saw it one way, and maybe the umpire behind the play saw it another way. Let's take a look at the block first of all.
See, here's Owens here. He's the outside guy. Ooh, yeah, that's illegal. Yeah, he came in and cracked. Blocked below the waist.
On Kenny Wright, the cornerback.
Personal foul, illegal clockback block, offense number 81. 15-yard penalty, remains first down.
So last week on the road, his first play as a Cowboy, they threw to him. It was a completed pass. Then he comes home, and his first home play as a Cowboy is a personal foul.
You know, I think that's one of the rules that they haven't gone over with all the wide receivers. Remember in last Sunday's game, Plexico Burris came in and had an illegal crack, and they haven't been doing a lot of cracking lately, so maybe they have to go over that again.
From the spot of the foul, thus it's 1st and 22, and the pass here is caught by Anthony Fasano, who's a tight end. He's a rookie out of Notre Dame's second-round draft choice. Here is the Redskin defense.
Philip Daniels, Donaldsonville, Georgia.
Cornelius Griffin, Alabama. Joe Salavia, Arizona Wildcats.
Andre Carter, California.
Marcus Washington, Auburn.
Lamar Marshall, Michigan State.
Warwick Holman, Texas A&M.
Kenny Wright, Northwestern State.
Sean Taylor, Miami.
Adam Archuleta, Arizona State.
Carlos Rogers, Auburn.
Rogers had a tough game against Minnesota last week as they go to Owens, and the crowd wants a flag on Kenny Wright at a Northwestern State. They picked him up from the Jacksonville Jaguars in the offseason. It will be 3rd down and 9.
I think that's one of the things they're trying to do is get the short pass out here to Terrell Owens, have him catch the ball, break a tackle, and run. I think somewhere, and again, you know, we're just getting started here, but I think somewhere with a Terrell Owens on one side, a Terry Glenn on the other side, I think you want to stretch this Redskin defense.
Marion Barber, his father played in the NFL about 2 decades ago as the 3rd down back. He's in the game. Stays in the block. Bledsoe feels the pressure. Slings it over the middle, and the pass is incomplete. But there is a flag down well back up the field at the 38-yard line of the Cowboys.
And it was Terry Glenn doing the pointing because he ran the pattern and then pointed back, and I'll bet you someone held him coming off the line.
He hopes.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 29. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Mike Rumpf, automatic first down.
Yeah, Mike Rumpf is the nickel back. He's the 5th defensive back, and oh boy, that's a grab right there, huh? I mean, he just went right for the neck. Terry Glenn runs a pattern, and the minute that the ball is thrown, Terry Glenn is pointing back to where Mike Rumpf grabbed him.
Sean Springs is still hurt, abdominal surgery. That's a big loss in the Washington secondary. Tyson Thompson's in the game as the running back, and a pitch to him here, but staying right with him. Thus getting around, though, is Thompson, and Tyson Thompson, a local kid who played at Irving High School picks up a first down. He ran right around Andre Carter, the defensive end, who was out there with him. And another flag, though, is back up at the 44-yard line after what would have been an 18-yard gain, but that's coming back.
Offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Mark Colombo out of Boston College, a free agent, one-time #1 pick of the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, that has to be a dumb penalty because the ball was, Colombo is a right tackle and the ball was around the left end. So you're going to see Colombo, but he's a right tackle here, and he's going to be coming downfield. It must be right there, but he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to block anyone because Tyson Thompson just outran the whole right side of the Redskin defense.
3 penalties already in the game, and that pass over the middle is incomplete. He tried to go to the tight end, Fasano. It'll be second down.
You know, you watch football all day, and coaches, you know, especially when they lose, they talk about we didn't have any consistency, and penalties knock the heck out of consistency. I mean, you watch the Cowboys, they're moving, and then they keep getting these penalties, and they keep getting back or going back to where they started from.
Well, and that was really the major problem for Washington last week. They had 7 against Minnesota, a couple against Sean Taylor that really hurt.
Well, remember the Giants last Sunday were that way.
Absolutely. Glenn gets out of the grasp of the first man, Sean Taylor, and then picks up a few more yards as Terry gets up to the 42-yard line. And, you know, with a guy like Glenn with so much attention paid to Owens, you forget about Terry Glenn, who's great in his own right.
Right, and this is what you call a sight adjust. You see the guy that was on him, the corner that was on him, came on a blitz. Drew Bledsoe sees that corner coming and gets the ball right out there to Terry Glenn. And it's a pretty good blitz on second down. And now third down, you'd like to make him make the same throw.
Glenn, already 11th year out of Ohio State, and of course played for Bill Parcells all the way back when Bill coached the Patriots in the mid-90s. Now Bledsoe throws, and the pass is caught. Anthony Fasano, but another penalty. Fasano makes the catch. Flag is down on the near side of the field at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, it looked like someone was holding Fasano, and that guy could be Andre Carter. Andre Carter, the right defensive end on a zone dog, was in a drop.
Part of the pass holding defense number 99. This penalty is declined. The result of the play, first down.
And that is the call.
Yeah, and as I said, Andre Carter, a defensive end, but when you go to a blitz, you'll see he's on the outside there, and he's going to drop off. So you bring the blitz inside and drop your end. Now here's Carter right here. You see he grabbed here. He just grabbed Fasano all the way. It wasn't just before. I thought he grabbed him just before the ball got there. He grabbed him right on the line of scrimmage.
Jason Whitney is their #1 tight end. Fasano is the second tight end, and now they finally go to Julius Jones. As you take a look at the Cowboy runner, and he's a little short of the first down. Julius Jones forced out of bounds by Lamar Marshall. Jones, another of the guys who came out of Notre Dame. He was hurt in his rookie year, but when he finally got to play, he was spectacular. Had a tremendous Monday night game against Seattle. And last year, he's the kind of guy, when he gets over 100 yards, he goes way over 100 yards. He has only 4 games in his 2-year career over 100, but they're all 149 or better.
You know, Bill Parcells was telling us yesterday that he wished that Julius Jones would run through more tackles. You know, that he kind of gets hit too squarely. He takes on things squarely and not take the side.
2nd and 1, and they give it to Jones again, and Jones takes it to the 30-yard line. He's the brother of Thomas Jones of the red-hot Chicago Bears, who are 2-0 after today.
Boy, they are something, aren't they?
Wow.
I mean, they look. You give Chicago some offense, and they're going to be something. There's Greg Williams. He's the assistant head coach, and he's also the defensive coordinator. He puts in these defenses and calls them. He's a heavy pressure guy, but especially when his offense can score some points, he is going to pressure a lot more. If his offense doesn't score any points, he has a tough time pressuring.
Williams was Bledsoe's head coach when Drew was at Buffalo. Slant caught. Owens, first home catch as a Cowboy, and another bit of laundry. So that's good for 11.
But that's what he can do. I mean, he's so big and so strong. If he can get his outside shoulder inside that cornerback's inside shoulder, that slant is automatic.
At the conclusion of the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 96. This penalty will be assessed half the distance to the goal. First down.
That's the defensive tackle, Cornelius Griffin.
You know, watch Owens out here. The minute he gets that outside shoulder right there, once he's inside that corner, that is going to be a completion. Of course, Carlos Rogers plays him so soft, he couldn't or didn't react to anything in that position.
First and goal now. This is the 10th play of the drive. They give it to Jones, whose brother gained 64 yards on 21 carries today for Chicago. And it will be second down. Marcus Washington makes the tackle. So like last week, John, a good opening drive for the Cowboys. And now we'll see if they can sustain it.
Yeah, and that's, you know, last week they got ahead 10-0 in Jacksonville, and they looked as good offensively as anyone could. And then in the second half, the wheels fell off. Cowboys have 3 wide receivers in there now, and the Redskins are in their nickel defense.
Jones is the running back. That's Creighton, 84 in motion. Quick throw to Owens, and Owens has Carlos Rogers right on top of him. Rogers, second-year cornerback, #1 draft choice last year from Auburn.
That was a good play by Carlos Rogers. You know, I thought he played that slant softly, and here you look at the cushion. That's what Bledsoe sees, but watch how quickly Carlos Rogers gets up there. That's the thing. If you're going to play on him and they're going to throw him those short ones, you know, he's going to catch those, but you sure as heck better tackle him right there, and Carlos Rogers did.
Owens this time wide to the right, bottom of the screen. Third down and goal from the 7-yard line. Fake draw. In the pass. It's caught. But no, he's out of bounds. It's Owens just for a second. It looked like he had it in the back of the end zone. Couldn't maintain possession. Out of bounds. It'll be 4th down and goal.
You know, over his career, he has done that. Remember, there was there for a while for the 49ers that he really had problems. Here he is, the outside receiver. He comes up, just runs that end zone. I mean, that end line, the ball is right there. He goes up and he just drops it on the way down. I don't know if out of bounds would have come into play or just a drop pass.
It's Mike Rumph got his hand in there. Rumph used to play with San Francisco. Vanderjagt for the extra point in his first action as a Cowboy for the field goal. Chip shot field goal, 7:59 remaining in the opening period, 3-0.
Right hand in there before Terrell Owens got his second hand on the ball.
Now Sweezum kicks off. Vanderjagt just doing the placements tonight. And this is Rock Cartwright with some room to the outside. Cartwright up to the 31, and another penalty flag is thrown. We've already had a bunch in a game that's barely 8 minutes old. And Mountain right here on NBC. After the penalty, the Washington Redskins start from the 11-yard line. Second possession, Brunell was 1 of 2 for 6 yards on the first possession, and it's been all Betts thus far as he's carried the ball for both of their rushers, and they've thrown to him twice, once complete. And there is Clinton Portis, who is inactive tonight but did make the trip, and as Andrea reported at the top of the show, they hope to have him back next week in Houston.
Yeah, because he's so important to this team. You know, he's not only a runner, but he's a pass catcher, and he's a good blocker. I mean, he is darn near a devastating blocker. He and Edgerrin James, to me, are 2 of the best blocking running backs in football.
He was originally injured in a game we had in mid-August in Cincinnati, making a tackle following an interception. This is Betts again. He's taken down there by Greg Ellis, and Washington is presented with a 3rd down and 1.
You know, talking to Joe Gibbs last night, he kept saying that, you know, he just kicked himself for only running the ball 17 times last year. I think last week. In the stats, it shows more because some of those lateral passes are, you know, charted as runs, but they only ran the ball 17 times. And he said, that's not us. That's not Redskin offense. We have to run the ball.
So Al Saunders, who was at Kansas City under Vermeil for the last 5 years. Very potent offense there, and it's been all Betts thus far, but Roy Williams is right there to knock him down. before he can get the first down.
Now, if you're a kid and you're playing high school football and you're a defensive back and or linebacker and you want to know, what is a tackle or how do you tackle, watch Roy Williams there. That is a perfect pursuit, a perfect line, and a perfect tackle. That is what you call a decleater. The moment the contact came, all cleats went out of the ground.
Derek Frost's first kick was a 48-yarder. They have Terrence Newman back to return the kick. Newman, the cornerback, to the 44. They would normally have Jamaica Rector as their return guy, but with two kickers, Rector's a guy.
Great to have him with us and great to have him part of the team, and that's what happens to old coaches, Al. They become bloggers.
Don't go ripping the announcers, John, on that blog now. We've got spies out there. First down. Bledsoe is going to throw it away. He looked over the middle. The protection that time was good before Cornelius Griffin got in there. Drew Bledsoe is a guy who gets hit a lot. He's been sacked more than any active quarterback. Last year, he was hit 82 times in the act of throwing. It doesn't even include the sacks. 5 times last week against the Jaguars. So that was about the average last week. So he takes a lot of hits, and yet despite that, he has been extremely durable through his career. He started every game in 9 of his 13 seasons, but that one hit by Mo Lewis against the Jets in 01 was the singular hit that provided the path for Tom Brady, and the rest of New England is history. Here goes Jones up to the 49-yard line. It'll be third down and about 5.
It's interesting you bring up the hits on Drew Bledsoe, and he takes more hits than anyone, but on that first down pass, what they did is they went to maximum protection, and that's why he had to throw the ball away, because he only had a 2-man pattern. And over here on the right, there were 4 Redskin defenders on the Cowboy receiver, so he had nothing. So that's what you sacrifice. You say, let's give him protection, let's go maximum protection. Then the more you protect, the fewer you get out.
Third down and 5 now. Carter, who came over from San Francisco, a new addition. Short drop, and then over the middle, he's right on the money and gets it in there to Terrell Owens. Short little pattern right through the middle. Owens gets popped by Sean Taylor, but it's a first down for the Cowboys.
And we saw it earlier where Terrell Owens was the outside receiver. On this one, he's the inside receiver. He's going to be the slot right here, the second slot in. And again, it's that same deal. He gets that outside shoulder inside the corner, and it's going to be complete. I mean, he is so big and so strong, he can just run right through that corner's shoulder.
2 catches for number 81 for 10 yards. Jones, Fogan, gets inside the 40-yard line. It'll be a gain of 3. Andre Carter makes the stop. Ticking down to 4 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Again, the giant win, and that was a giant win, one of the greatest in Giants history today, down by 17, win in overtime. Otherwise, Philadelphia would have been 2-0, and the loser of this game would be looking way up, even though we're 2 games into the season in a very tough division. Jones, and he's met as Taylor comes up, and he gets some help from Warwick Holden, the linebacker.
We talked about Roy Williams and what a good tackle that was and what a good tackler he is. Well, on the Redskin defense, that same guy is right here, Sean Taylor. And you watch him, and he's back here. And the second that he sees that ball flipped and Reed's run, he is right up there. And again, he'll get a few penalties now and then, as will Roy Williams, but they're both 2 of the better tackling safeties.
Marion Barber in the game as the third down back. Change of pace guy. Third down and 6 from the 38-yard line, with the Cowboys up 3-0. Good protection. Bledsoe throws perfect, but a flag in. Glenn makes the catch, and if the penalty is against Washington, it'll be first down and goal. Got around Kenny Wright, the cornerback. Flag is down at the 18-yard line, and both teams are moving down toward the goal line. We'll get Karendi's call.
And I'll say Terrell Owens probably ran the wrong pattern, because when the ball got there, Terry Glenn and Terrell Owens were both there. In fact, T.O. could have picked him.
Illegal contact, defense number 25. This penalty is declined. Result of the play, first down.
That's Kenny Wright, the guy who eventually got beat anyway, 34 yards.
You see both receivers up on the top side, and and Terrell Owens got bumped there, and that's why he didn't get out. He was supposed to be the deep guy, and then Glenn was going to come underneath him, and he got bumped and didn't get as deep as he should have.
First and goal. Bledsoe rolling, looking, and then throws the ball away. Nothing open. In the corner there was Marion Barber out of the backfield, but he couldn't get free. It'll be second down and goal from the 4.
Yeah, and that's the type of hit that Bledsoe got hurt on with the Patriots. It was that same type of thing where he was doing this, and he's trying to buy time, and then he gets up in the sideline, and he takes that hit just as he throws the ball. That wasn't a real solid hit like the one he took New England, but it was that same area and that same type of play.
Yeah, same corresponding week, I think, of that 0-1 season. Mo Lewis of the Jets hit him, and of course that paved the way for Brady, and the next thing another in the Super Bowl, and Bledsoe's in Buffalo. Second down and goal from the 4-yard line. Off the fake, stepping up, guns it to the end zone. It is Patrick Creighton making the catch for the touchdown.
One thing, this play is going to start off with a great play action. You see that fake there? That kind of holds the linebackers. Then Bledsoe can step up because he had good protection in the middle. That allowed him to step up. Patrick Creighton is just right there in the middle. He just kind of bumps off his defender and comes free in the middle.
Vanderjagt for the point after. The Redskins 2 3-and-outs, a total of 6. And you see the disparity in yardage. And the kickoff here, Rock Cartwright downs it in the end zone at the foot of Sean Sweezum. So at the 20-yard line, the Washington Redskins will take over. 2:33 remaining in the. This is Mark Brunell's 36th birthday. Drew Bledsoe, at least at the outset, trying to blow out the candles. 9 out of 14 with a touchdown for Bledsoe. Now we'll see if Brunell can get something started. 2 3-and-outs thus far for the Washington Redskins to begin this drive at their own 20-yard line. And Brunell goes to the outside, and that pass is caught there by Mike Sellers. And the fullback takes it out to the 35-yard line for Washington's initial first down. So signaled by Mr. Sellers. First down with 2:17 remaining in the period. Sellers last year rushed one time for 1 yard, but they love to throw to him. Sellers last year caught 12 passes. 7 of them were for touchdowns.
Right, and that's what he is. He's a pass receiving, blocking fullback.
From the 35, Brunell buys time. And Brunell, as we said before, loves to work outside the numbers, maybe more so than any quarterback in the league, as Brandon Lloyd makes the catch and Terrence Newman was covering on the play. But they chart everything now, and Joe Gibbs, who picked up from Brunell. What we mean outside the numbers, of course, is when you see the numbers painted on the field, from the numbers to the outside the numbers, of course, inside will be mainly passes thrown over the middle. Second down and 3 from the 42-yard line.
Oops.
Chris Cooley, number 47, with a flag.
False start. Offense, number 47. 5-yard penalty remains. Second down.
Going to make it second down and 8. So he had 86 completions last year inside the numbers. That's the fewest in the league among the quarterbacks who played most of the time. Minimum 375 attempts. That's the category for that. But outside the numbers, a different story. And again tonight, working the outside.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is because he's a shorter guy. He's only about 6 foot, so he can see to the outside a lot better.
This time he couldn't see anything except big number 94 in his face. That's DeMarcus Ware, who bats it right back at him. Spears comes up with it, but you see the flag come in. Correnti and his crew have been throwing the flag on about every other play thus far.
Yeah, because it looked like DeMarcus Ware gave him a blow to the head. He's one of the good, he's going to be one of the good players.
Personal foul, roughing the quarterback. Contact with the helmet of the quarterback. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Another 15-yarder, incomplete pass because the arm was coming forward. The ball was coming forward, as you can see. And then the personal foul.
I don't know about that. I mean, if he hit the ball, he's going for the ball. Now, did he hit him in the head?
Helmet to helmet.
No, it's a helmet to helmet. I was looking for the hand on the head. The hand was on the ball, and the helmet was on his head.
Helmet to helmet will always get it.
Boy, they're protecting quarterbacks, and I'm kind of all for that, but they're sure as heck tough on pass rushers today.
Brunell now at the 48-yard line.
Marcus Ware is only in his second year, and he's going to be one of the good ones.
One of their 2 number 1 draft choices last year. That was deflected, and Brandon Lloyd, who comes over in a trade from the 49ers, and now you've got another foul coming in here. 3 flags come in.
Well, there's flags all over the place.
Now, here comes the 4th flag. Now, Correnti came in. 3 were thrown simultaneously. And now you've got
after the player was down,
square
personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit, defense, number 50, 15-yard penalty, first down.
50 is Aiken Adele. Right there.
And that's the call. Aiken Adele played with Jacksonville. They picked him up first year now with the Cowboys, and a kid who grew up in Irving, Texas. So he's played in the stadium as a high schooler as well as a professional. Those are the accepted penalties. 8 accepted penalties already in the quarter.
I think we're going for a record.
Yeah, I hope not. Brunell. And that pass is short. Looked like he held on to it a little too long as Cooley had gotten free. Mark couldn't release the football in the proper rhythm. The pressure put on by DeMarcus Ware.
And maybe that's why he throws outside so much. Because he has a tough time finding lanes inside. But there is another reason. Early in his career, he was a big runner. And he would run the bootleg a lot, where you fake and then bootleg out one side or the other. And that would bring about a lot of throwing outside. And, he still does it. And he'll still play action and get to the edges, but not as much as he used to.
Started his career at Green Bay, understudy to Brett Favre, then went to Jacksonville and was their quarterback from the inception of the franchise. Avoids the initial sack, and then he's taken down. Marcus Spears will get credit for it with some assists from Greg Ellis and others.
Yeah, DeMarcus Ware was the other. It was the 2 outside linebackers that get there first, here and here, and they're outside linebackers, but they're also like defensive ends and pass rushers. They were the ones that got there first and flushed them out right into Marcus Spears. But that's what you have to have. You have to have your outside guys up the field and then flush them inside, and then your tackle's getting a push.
That'll do it for the first quarter. Dallas 10, Washington nothing. Sunday Night Football. Madden, Andrea Kramer, 10-0. The Cowboys on top. 3rd down and 18 for the Washington Redskins. Every play on this drive has been a pass or a personal foul. All-out blitz. Brunell looking for somebody, finds Liddell Betts for the screen, and Liddell Betts almost picks up the first down. Comes up about 3 yards shy, run out by Patrick Watkins. So it looked like they were going to get to Brunell again, but he's able to find the open man and at least turn it into a decent gain.
Yeah, that's where a quarterback has to make a play, and Mark Brunell made that play. Because he's having trouble in pass protection now, and he just had to go back until he could find something. And what that really did is save him a field goal attempt here.
And this will be a 39-yard attempt. John Hall missed a 48-yarder at the end of regulation last week, which would have sent the Minnesota game into overtime. The ex-Jet to try to make it a 7-point game. Spotted by Derek Frost at the 29-yard line, and Hall's kick is true. 40 seconds into the second quarter. Dallas 10, Washington 3. Some other notes from today. We took a look at that pass to Burris for the touchdown on 3rd and long in overtime. Hall will kick off. And that kick is angled to the 4-yard line where Tyson Thompson will bring it back. And the one-time local high school star here in Irving out to the 35-yard line. A lot of talk, of course, has centered around the Cowboys' offensive line, and one number 76, Flozell Adams, who missed the final 10 games last year, But he and Larry Allen formed a great tandem, and then all of a sudden Allen is gone, and I don't know, maybe you just look. Everybody's going to run out of gas at a certain point. The question is, does he have enough left?
You know, he's having trouble bending his knees. You know, he's a tall guy, and sometimes speed will give him problems, but Andre Carter hasn't given him any problems tonight.
And that pass is dropped because getting free over the middle was Jason Witten, the tight end, fourth-year Pro Bowler. Marcus Washington back there covering.
Yeah, that's the thing that Drew Bledsoe has here is he has pretty good protection today, but then he has Terrell Owens outside, he has Terry Glenn outside, and then if you want to double out there, then you're going to have to leave something for Jason Witten. And if you do, Witten will take it and Bledsoe will get it to him. But it all starts with that offensive line. I mean, that's a big problem, I think, for this Cowboy team. Can they protect for Drew Bledsoe? So far, they've been doing a good job.
Jones just knocked down hard after a gain of 2 by the defensive end Philip Daniels.
You know, here's Flozell Adams, and here's what I was talking about. He's a tall guy, and he has trouble bending his knees. So he plays pretty high, and if the defender plays high with him, that's okay. It's when the guy gets underneath his shoulder pads and gives him that speed rush that he has some problem.
6'7", 340, he can envelop you.
I still think that he's a good tackle.
Adams now in his 9th year at Michigan State. 3rd down and 9 from the 37-yard line. Bledsoe hit as he throws, but gets it off, and that's caught by Witten. He's into Washington territory, all the way down to the 42-yard line before he is tackled by the former Ram, Adam Archuleta.
The reason I said oops on that play is Flozell Adams held, and they didn't see it. Because I was just saying that, you know, he has trouble with speed to the outside because he doesn't bend his knees. And watch the trouble he has with speed here, and watch what he does about it. Just grabs him from behind. So I tell you, he held Andre Carter off enough so that Drew Bledsoe could get rid of that ball.
One of those, you could call it or not call it. Maybe the officials feel they're throwing enough flags already tonight. The ball at the 42-yard line. 1st down. Jones for 2.
Well, it did look worse from up here than it did down there.
Julius Jones has now carried the ball 8 times for a total of 31 yards, a little less than 4 yards per rush.
I was talking about Bill Parcells, talking about Julius Jones, how he'd like him to run through more tackles and not take so many square hits. He said, you know, he can play well and he can gain yards, but I don't know how long he's going to be around running that way.
2nd and 8, and that is dropped by Witten. The coverage was very tight. Lamar Marshall, the linebacker, draped on him legally. And it will be 3rd down and 8.
We're watching Flozell Adams here again, and this is what he can do well, is he has long arms, and if he can get that punch and get you away from him where you can't get back, Andre Carter's not going to get close to the quarterback.
Carter's speed guy at 6'4", 265.
And he better go around Flozell. He better not try and go square into him because he's going to lose that battle.
3rd and 8. Marion Barber in the game as the 3rd down back. 3 wides.
Redskins have 6 defensive backs.
Bledsoe's going to come back across the field, and that's Owens unable to hold on to it. Covered there by Sean Taylor, and they're not in field goal range, so in will come the punting group.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that that Drew Bledsoe and Terrell Owens really don't have timing down yet. You know, you talk about, his hamstring pull and not practicing riding the bike and all that. He really didn't get on the field, to practice with Bledsoe. So I don't know that they have that feel that they have to have yet.
Still working on it. Matt McBriar. You saw Antoine Randall L. They picked up in the offseason from Pittsburgh, threw a touchdown pass to Hines Ward in the Super Bowl. Makes the fair catch at the 11-yard. T.J. Duckett is in the game, being circled there. They picked him up from Atlanta at the start of the season when they didn't know about Portis, and the big back who was a little bit of thunder and lightning with Warwick Dunn for a couple of seasons, takes it up to the 12-yard line where he's tackled by Jason Ferguson.
I know what they want to do is they want to get Duckett in there and just run downhill, but if you're going to run downhill, you better get this guy blocked. You got to get that nose tackle blocked. And you see Ferguson, he just handles the center. Rabach, he just takes him, stands him straight up, and goes right down and closes down everything in the middle. That is tough to run inside with a nose tackle like Jason Ferguson.
Duckett is 254 pounds. They fake it to him. Brunell has a ton of time. And then the pass is not held onto by Cooley with Brady James covering on the play. Brady James, a real comer now in his 4th year out of LSU, 4th-round pick. This is the kind of defense he's part of it that Bill Parcells loves. I mean, through the years, you go back to Bill with the Giants and then New England and the New York Jets and now here in Dallas. And, of course, he likes to do the same thing over and over if he can with the personnel.
You're right, and especially those big outside linebackers. I mean, he took Greg Ellis, who was his defensive end for years, and made him an outside linebacker on the left side, and then DeMarcus Ware, the big linebacker defensive end on the other side. So he has 3 defensive linemen that are really tackles, and his linebackers are really defensive ends.
3rd down and 8, and the Redskins 12-yard line, 1st down. Or 3rd down and 8 after the timeout, and Brunell throws to the outside, and that pass is incomplete, and in comes Frost and the punting unit. So they had to take the timeout. It was 3rd down and 8. Brunell can't find anybody, and out they go.
And the Cowboys were in nickel then with their, we talked about their 3-man line. Then when they get you in 3rd down, then they go to 4-down linemen, and they just pass rush. DeMarcus Ware was telling me the other day that anytime I hear the word nickel, that means for me, go.
What about if he hears dime? Double go?
Go, go, go.
Here's Frost's kick. Newman with a bobble at the 40-yard line. And Newman with a nice run back. 14-yard return to the 46-yard line. And that's where Bledsoe and the group will take over. We go.
Parcells had Willie McGinnis in mind when he made that change. But initially, Ellis in his 9th season was very reluctant to make that move. But we'll have more in a little bit on him.
All right, Ellis.
Oh, I'm sorry. So Ellis was reluctant to change. He asked to be traded. In fact, when I asked him how it's going, he said it's been extremely challenging. Since the 7th grade, I've been a rush guy, and it's an instinctive habit. Now I have to drop into coverage. I asked him, can you be as good a linebacker as a defensive end? He said, I don't know. I'd rather be a 4-3 end.
Meanwhile, you've got Terry Glenn running a post, and Kenny Wright is all over him, and the flags come in, and it's going to be 1st down and goal. And again, it's just flag day here. 3 separate flags were dropped at the 5-yard line.
Well, you kind of knew that was coming. I mean, the Cowboys had good field position here at midfield to take a shot. And the way teams take a shot now is with play-action pass.
Defense number 25. Automatic 1st down.
25 is Kenny Wright. They had the play-action pass. And then they're going to go deep, and you see Kenny Wright put his left arm over Glenn before the ball got there.
41-yard penalty, and they're really missing Sean Springs, right, playing in that spot. And that's taken down to the 2-yard line. They hope that Springs back in a week or 2 after abdominal surgery. Marion Barber with a gain of a couple there, but Minnesota did enough against that depleted Washington secondary the other night with Brad Johnson doing a little surgery to pull out the victory.
Yeah, Minnesota had a good
down and goal now from the 2-yard line. Dallas trying to make it a 2-touchdown game. They're up by 7 here. And this is Barber, and he's going to try to dive into the end zone, and he's going to come up a little bit short inside the 1-yard line. Cornelius Griffin got the push in the middle to deny him for the moment.
He did that, and then you're going to see number 98, Lamar Marshall.
And Griffin right on the bottom that time. And this is Barber again, and Barber tries to work his way in. There is no signal yet from any official. Nothing except 4th down.
Nope, he had a 3rd effort too. He didn't make it on the 1st effort. Then he didn't make it on the 2nd. I thought maybe he got across the plane on the 3rd effort, but he didn't. Watch him here. See, he stopped right there. You know he's not in. Then that 2nd effort, I didn't think he got it. Then maybe on that 3rd one he did. But they're saying no, and the Cowboys are going for it.
4th and goal. Owens is sent in motion. Barber again. And this time Barber's in. It was a close shave, but he finally got it.
Yeah, he finally got it, and he got right in behind his right guard, Marco Rivera. You watch Rivera here. He's going to get the block right there. They get a good double team and a good push, and that's what allowed that hole there. You see, right there, that gives him a soft spot over on the right. It was all started by 62, Marco Rivera.
Well, Kerry Campbell almost was the hero that time, as he was able to stop him just for the moment. Rock Cartwright to run back the Sweden kick. And Rock Cartwright with a beautiful run back into Dallas territory, chasing him from behind. And Rock Cartwright for a touchdown. The Cowboys have not allowed a touchdown on a return since 1993. And Dan Snyder and his group pretty happy about that one because they were down by 14, and thanks to a 100-yard return. Portis going down the sideline. He'll be part of the greeting party, and here it is again.
Right, and he gets up into the wedge. No one touches him. That was the first guy that touched him was a kicker. Who would think that a guy named Rock would outrun everyone on the Dallas Cowboy kickoff team?
I was thinking the same thing. The guy should be named Speedy or Slick.
Right. Look at the wedge here. They hold hands to start off, but they didn't even need the wedge. I mean, no one touched him until right there. And then Rock runs away from everyone else. Woo!
Ball for the extra point. 100 yards for Rock. It's 93. So illustrated there. The kick here is taken by Abram Elam at the 4-yard line. And he brings it back up to the 29-yard line. And that's where Bledsoe and the group will take over after Campbell makes the tackle. NFC East, a lot of people think the best of the divisions. That remains to be seen, but certainly highly competitive. The Giants with that win, that miracle win today, and Philadelphia on top. Winner of this game will be tied.
Back, and what we said earlier about the Giants, they're for real, and I don't think both of these teams are going to be in there, obviously, but one of them will.
Great spin move there by Jones to turn a 2-yard gain to about a 9-yard gain pending the call from the officiating crew.
Offense, number 63. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Kyle Kozar, former 49er, came over as a free agent from the Lions. He spent 1 year there, and he's called for the hold.
And he didn't complain much about it. And Parcells has that upset look, and I know what he's mad about. It's not necessarily that holding penalty there. I mean, that upset him a little. But that 100-yard kickoff return against you, he had everything under control. I mean, he's thinking, okay, 17-3, we got this game. You know, everything's going well. And then, boom, 100 yards by Rock, and you're right here at 17-10.
Well, he already lived it last week with a 10-0 lead, and it looked like it might be 17-0. And the next thing you know, Jacksonville at 28 unanswered points. And that pass is incomplete, intended for Lusaka Polite. Warwick Holden is there on the coverage.
You know, when you've been around as long as both of these coaches, both Bill Parcells and Joe Gibbs, you remember a lot of things. In fact, it was funny talking to Bill Parcells the other day. He said, this offense is Don Coryell. And so he's defended Don Coryell. And he said, the Redskin defense, that's Buddy Ryan. So he's bringing out plays against Don Coryell and Buddy Ryan in this game.
No Hallis and no Curly Lambeau. Bledsoe throws. That's caught up at the 27-yard line by Jason Witten. It'll be third down and long. Parcells and Gibbs have met 20 times during the regular season, and that man right there owns a 12-8 advantage. And the Giants also beat the Redskins in their only postseason meeting back in the NFC Championship game in January of '87.
You know, no matter how you rate them, two of the better coaches of all time. In fact, I mean, we know Joe Gibbs is already in the Hall of Fame.
And Parcells will probably wind up there, and the reason he's not is that nobody believed that he was really going to retire every time he retired, but everybody did believe Joe Gibbs. Third down and 13. Bledsoe steps up, throws into traffic, and that pass is incomplete, and Terrell Owens really took a shot. He was surrounded by a trio of Redskins, and when Sean Taylor is in the neighborhood, you will feel him.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that is a little frustrating. They're really taking away the outside receivers. And I mean, here's Terrell Owens here because they're not going to let them beat him. So they have him short, they have him deep, and then they have Sean Taylor to come in and do that. So they kind of had 3 guys on or around Terrell Owens on that play.
Now Matt McBriar to punt, and this is a booming kick to the former Steeler, Antoine Randall L. And Randall L. is surrounded.
But the Redskins haven't been able to get any running game going at all.
T.J. Duckett is the running back, and now they're going to work it to Santana Moss, who's also been quiet tonight. And that's one way to get a running game going with your wideouts, and they've got a couple of them who can do it, Moss and Antoine Randall L. First down.
You know, and you just feel that they have to get the ball to Santana Moss because they, you know, he's their playmaker. Now, the Cowboys are playing that cover 2 shell, and they're taking them away outside. So these are other things that you can do with them. You can run them on an end around. You can throw them a screen. You can do those kinds of things, but it is tough to get downfield. You talk about a guy launching himself. You see 31 Roy Williams come flying through the air. That's what Santana Moss was looking at.
He's like Taylor on the other side. First and 10 after a 19-yard gain, and Brunell under pressure almost lost the ball, and it's DeMarcus Ware who has his own little celebration of that sack.
Right, and he lined up on the left side. They usually line him up on the right side, but they've been sliding left and blocking the right side with a back, and that's what they do to DeMarcus Ware here, and that's not going to work. I mean, you can't get a back on DeMarcus Ware or Greg Ellis.
DeMarcus Ware played his college football at Troy in Alabama, one of 2 first-round picks last year, an 11-yard sack. The Washington Redskins right now have 59 net yards. They've gained 59 yards, and they've been penalized 70 yards.
DeMarcus Ware has raised a lot of havoc with him.
And now you've got Duckett. And TJ, former Falcon, came over in a 3-corner trade about 3 weeks ago involving Denver and Atlanta. Takes it across the 50 to the 49, but because of the penalty, still well shy of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and 6 upcoming.
Well, you know, and that's what they wanted, is downhill running, and that's the thing that T.J. Duckett will do. When he gets his shoulder squared, like right there, he is just going one way. That's number 31, Roy Williams. Oh, that could have been called something.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a helmet-to-helmet followed by a late elbow.
3rd down and 6, the ball at the 49-yard line, 4:40 to go in the half. Well, we've had a lot of penalties tonight, but we haven't had too many false starts or offside. Now 11.
This is nickel defense, and this is just tells where go.
Shotgun and Brunell rolling. Has enough time, but then the pass is way short. It was Brandon Lloyd who was the nearest man, and Washington will punt.
Redskin offense kind of looks out of sync, doesn't it? You know, but then you have to go back. Is it going to take a while to learn the offense, or do they have the right players to learn the offense?
That's the million-dollar question. And that's one of the reasons you've got the other kicker in there tonight, Sean Sweezum. Here's Jones for a gain of 4.
You know, and Bill Parcells just wonders if when he missed that kick against Pittsburgh, if maybe he didn't lose his confidence. And if he did lose his confidence, is he ever going to get it back? I mean, he gave him a couple of opportunities in preseason, and he missed. He missed right. So he thought maybe, you know, maybe it could be one of those things that you lose it and you never get it back. Or maybe it's one of those things that, you know, you had a bad kick, a bad year, you forget about it and go on. And Parcells isn't sure which one.
Hell of a time to find out. They spent several $1 million to sign him, and that pass over the middle is incomplete, intended for Lusaka Polite. In preseason, remember, he didn't play much until I think it was the last game. And, you know, the last thing you ever want to do in preseason is, first of all, go into overtime. Secondly, extend overtime. So he had 2 overtime opportunities here at Texas Stadium, and he missed them both.
And look where he missed them. And then you look back to that, you know, Pittsburgh game, and he missed the same one. He missed that one right, too. So I think, you know, is it a head thing, or is it something he can just forget and go on?
3rd and 5, and what a shot Glenn just took. by Mike Rumpf. That's the sound that I think Glenn's hearing in his ears right now. Rumpf.
Well, you know, this is Cowboy Redskins. We've done a lot of these games over the years, and one thing, when these two teams go after each other, it's always going to be a physical game. They came on a blitz that time and made Bledsoe get rid of the ball before he wanted to. Could have brought it up short. Mike Rumpf really put a hit on.
Prior to do the punting, Antoine Randall L. Randall L. up past the 30 to the 36-yard line with 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Now Washington at the 35-yard line on first down. And Ware got in there almost untouched, and then Williams is back there with Cooley, and the pass is incomplete. But how do you not account for 94?
Yeah, they must have thought that he wasn't coming, or they were sliding away, and Cooley came in motion that side, and you see him going across like he's going with Cooley, but instead of staying with Cooley, he just stopped and rushed. He was on the same side as Cooley, went across with him like he was going to cover him, and then just stopped, and he was unaccounted for.
On the way outside Daniels and forced the issue right there. Second down and 10. Duckett. And the 254-pounder. Bulls forward for a gain of about 3 to the 38-yard line.
T.J. Duckett could use
their own 38-yard line. Bledsoe's thrown for 126 yards. Brunell's thrown for 48. Blitz. Gets it away in a hurry. Underthrows it. Newman with the good coverage that time on Antoine Randall L. And with the blitz that time, forcing Brunell to throw early. Pass underthrown again. Mark Brunell is now 5 out of 13.
And sometimes you just feel that Mark Brunell is throwing a little too early. Now that's easy to say from up here. I mean, he's getting the blitz, he's getting the pressure, but maybe, just a half a beat longer, he may have had something there.
Derek Frost will do the punting. Patrick Creighton back to receive it. High floater, 14-yard line. Creighton forced out of bounds at the 26 to 30. Rock we go. Bob Costas. And Chris was talking about Carolina botching its opportunity against Minnesota. The Vikings go to 2-0, and that's Glenn unable to handle it at the 31-yard line. Carlos Rogers, the cornerback, with the coverage.
Yeah, and how about that Charger defense?
On the line of scrimmage.
Illegal motion was the call that time.
Yards remains first down.
Parcells.
100-yard kickoff. I know that's killing. I mean, that should never, ever happen to you.
First and 15, the ball to the 20-yard line. Bledsoe throws, caught Witten, 29-yard line. Tackled there by Adam Archuleta, going without a huddle. Cowboys have all of their timeouts left, so a lot of time with a minute and a half to play. But the big thing is to keep converting on second down and 6 here. Bledsoe stepping away from the pressure. And then he has to throw that out of bounds, and to keep this drive going, they'll have to convert on a third down and 6 now from the 29-yard line.
I think one of the things the Redskins are doing is really, because of the coverage, the Redskins aren't going to let him, get the ball without at least 2 guys on him. Look, there's 2 guys lined up right on him. One may blitz, but there's another one behind him.
He scored 3 for 19 yards and almost had a touchdown that was knocked away at the last moment. And that pass is incomplete. So they do go to Owens. That would have been shy of the first down. Lamar Marshall makes the tackle. Tough crowd. They're going.
Yeah, well, he's dropping here that, is a little high, but, Terrell Owens catches those balls.
Matt McBriar will punt. And that is a monster kick. It backs Antoine Randall all the way back to the 10-yard line. It's like a video game. But only to the 14-yard line he goes. So McBriar really gets into that one. A 61-yard boot and a 3-yard return. All in preseason, even though the first unit plays very sparingly, they were okay last week, but not really efficient. And tonight, well, they're in the game because of Cartwright on a run back more than anything else. Liddell Betts up to the 20-yard line with 45 seconds remaining in the half.
Like Santana Moss has only caught one pass, and again, he's your playmaker, he's your big play guy, and somewhere in this game they're going to unleash him.
Brunell, and that one is deflected and almost intercepted. And despite Brunell being one of the shorter quarterbacks at 6'1", he really third down. Trips left. And they're running a series as if we know we don't have Clinton Portis. I mean, they're running out the clock at the end of the half, even though they had 2 timeouts in a 7-point game. And now Dallas can take a timeout because at least they forced Washington. Why? Unless you're going to throw a Hail Mary, go for a pass interference or some other sort of miracle, and that'll end the half.
I think Joe Gibbs was saying the same thing. He was shaking his head there.
Yeah, I mean, that was very, very strange. Right now. And away we go in the third quarter with John Hall sending it to the night sky down into the arms of Tyson Thompson. Up to the 27-yard line. Dallas takes over there, and we go to Andrea Kramer. Andrea.
Bill Parcells took one look at me at halftime and said, we dropped 8 passes. Guys were open. They have to catch it. 81, 82, 39. He told the team at halftime, you have to be ready to go down on the wire. That's what I think is going to happen in this game. And keep an eye on Terry Glenn. He injured his right shoulder. He will play, but let's keep an eye on that this half.
Yeah, he's already, as you can see, Bill Parcells exorcised on the far side. And he rarely calls anybody by their name. It's either the player or a number.
Yeah, that's an old defensive quality, and that's what he got from being a defensive coach. That's what they do.
And that is caught up at the 30-yard line by the tight end Jason Witten. Up to the 34-yard line, tackled there by Warwick Holman. 2nd and 3. When they come up to the line of scrimmage, we'll take a look at some of the numbers. Rushing yards, Washington with 71. Though it would seem not that many, but passing just 59. And the penalties are killing them. It's 100 yards between rushing and passing, but 75 of those went away with penalties. Jones on 2nd and short. He'll move his sticks as he gets it up to the 39-yard line, tackled by Lamar Marshall.
Yeah, I think that's what Dallas has to get back to is running and maybe getting those outside receivers to run inside patterns, because they have them out there and the Redskins are just taking them away and making them throw to the back and to the tight end, Jason Witten. And I think that they have to get Terry Glenn and they have to get Terrell Owens in. Now, I know they have to catch a ball too, as Bill Parcells would say, but I think those guys have to get where they run maybe inside patterns to get away from that double coverage on the outside.
Andrew talking about Glenn. He's on the bench right now, 1st and 10s. And that pass is a little too high for Barber. He's covered there by the outside linebacker Marcus Washington. And John, let's go back and take a look at Owens and the coverage on Owens and what happened to Terrell in the first half.
Well, he's going to draw a crowd, and he was able to catch those things. But I'll tell you, the Redskins, when he does catch them, are going to hit him. That time Mike Rumpf made a heck of a play getting that ball knocked out of there, but look at the hits on him when he does get him.
He's a magnet. All 3 catches for Owens in the first quarter. And now Jones able to make the catch. Take off, flag down, however. And he'll get taken down at the 23-yard line, but there's a penalty marker all the way back up at the 39-yard line.
That was a screen pass out here to the right and a great cut by Julius Jones. And there's probably going to come back, but he took the ball almost to the sideline. Instead of going out of bounds or up the sideline, he cut it right back to the middle of the field.
Offense number 62. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Marco Rivera, the longtime Packer, now in his 11th season, came over a couple of years ago.
And it's a screen pass, like I say. Here's 62, Marco Rivera. You're going to see him out there, push right there. In fact, it was the push that kind of broke Julius Jones away. But I like the way that he cut back to the middle of the field rather than going up the sideline.
Rivera 3 times a Pro Bowler with the Green Bay Packers.
It happens a lot when you get a big offensive lineman out in space. A lot of times they can't get that square contact that they can get in close, so they'll reach and they'll grab and they'll do things like that.
2nd and 20. They got Sam Hurd, a rookie from Northern Illinois, in the game with Glenn still on the bench, and it's swung out to Barber and he can't handle it. So 3rd down and 20 now. Bledsoe a little under 50%. He's 14 out of 29. But as Bill Parcells said, we dropped 8 passes in the first half.
Yeah, but then how about that one to Julius Jones? I mean, that was a screen. It was complete for a long play. Again, Marco Rivera holds or pushes or whatever, and they bring it back. Those are the things that frustrate you as a coach, but maybe more importantly to your team, it makes you inconsistent.
3rd and 20. Glenn's back in. You saw him. There's Owens.
Yeah, this is the Redskins 3-man line, 6 defensive backs. They like the pressure from this, although they're not here.
Keep it on the ground. Crowd hates the call. It's Barber. Tackled there by Ronaldo Wynn.
Remember last week against Jacksonville, and it was just before half, and Drew Bledsoe had like a 2nd and 20 or 3rd and 20 or something like that, long yardage, and he forced one, and that was one of the incompletions, and then I think Jacksonville scored after that. But anyway, that was one of the things that Bill said it was a mistake. We shouldn't have done that, and that was kind of the same situation. 3rd and real long, don't force anything.
So they played it very conservatively. McBriar booms another one. Randall L. And Antoine Randall L. with yard kick.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, receiving team number 31. Went after the punter well out of the play. This penalty will be assessed half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
That's Rock Cartwright, our man who ran back a kick 100 yards. But he pulls a rock right there. 17-10.
That's called a Stubbs. Have to remember the defensive end for the Cowboys years ago, Daniel Stubbs. He invented that sandwich.
It is phenomenal. This is Mike Sellers making the catch out of the backfield before he drops the ball out of bounds. He picks up a 1st down.
And it was something Al Saunders was talking about last night, is wanting to be aggressive in the passing game and be aggressive throwing the ball deep, and he hasn't been able to do it. He kind of wanted to start off that way, and sometimes you want to start off, but then you change your mind when the game starts. But here we are in the 3rd quarter, and I haven't seen anything aggressive down the field.
Just one touchdown coming last week against Minnesota in 17 drives. Again, Portis out tonight, so it's Liddell Betts who's been doing some of the ball carrying. They've had Duckett in there as well. And for Betts now, that's 7 carries for 22 yards. Some of the key guys tonight for the Redskins. And again, with those 10 points, only 3 from the offense, 7 on special teams. Brunell, nothing really to write home about on his 36th birthday. Betts, ordinary. And Moss, they've really taken Moss away. Just 1 catch, 7 yards.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, he's their big guy. He's their big playmaker. Somehow they have to figure a way to get him the ball.
2nd and 8. Brunell, he's going to take off, but not very far, and he's going to slide to a stop at the 30-yard line. And it's going to be 3rd down and 5 for the Redskins.
And we'll look at the point of view of Mark Brunell, and you'll see that there's no one open. I mean, this is, I think here, they fake the reverse. They are trying to go down the field. He steps up, and there's no one open. And the Cowboys just dropped in zone and zoned the field, and none of the Redskins receivers got open.
3rd down and 5. Dallas with the extra DB in here. Brunell swings it to the outside, and that's going to be shy of the 1st down. It's caught there by Antoine Randall, but when you need 5 and get only 3, in comes the punting unit.
I'll say this for both of these defensive secondaries, they have tackled well. You know, that old thing, well, we'll throw it short and the guy will run for a first down. Not with these two secondaries. I mean, Anthony Henry came up and made a heck of a tackle there.
Derek Frost to do the kicking. And that kick is fielded at the 8-yard line. And that's another booming kick as he is stopped at the 50. That's from their first meeting in 1983. And Bill looks better right now.
Then and now.
From the 17-yard line on first down for the Dallas Cowboys. Bledsoe. And that's caught coming over the middle is Anthony Fasano, the rookie tight end. And John, we began the night talking about Bledsoe and in a way trying to hold on to the job. What do you think so far through the first half plus a few minutes here in the third?
I'll tell you what, I think he's holding on to his job, and you know what kind of proves it? You haven't seen one shot of Tony Romo.
Right.
Now if he were struggling, now you have. But if he were struggling and throwing interceptions and stuff, you'd go boom right there to Tony Romo and say, maybe they ought to make a switch now.
Here's Barber. And Barber with a nice one there for a first down. Well, you said before the game you had a feeling that Bledsoe would respond. His numbers may not be that great, 15 to 30 for 156. They're good enough, but so many drops they could be a lot better.
Right, and I've always been impressed with Drew Bledsoe as a competitor and a tough guy.
His numbers, Jones with a 4.1 average, and you know, Owens with those 3 catches for only 19 yards all in the first quarter.
I mean, guys like Drew Bledsoe just don't go in the tank.
It's a 2-yard gain here for Barber. In a way, Bledsoe, you forget about the fact he was the first pick overall by New England when he got out of Washington State. Led him to a Super Bowl with Parcells. They lost to Green Bay. And he was the #1 quarterback. The injury, of course, gave Brady the opportunity on to Buffalo. Played decently there for Greg Williams. And now here in his second season with the Cowboys. Comes back the other way, incomplete.
And you know, it's just a matter of time. I mean, Bill Parcells says that, you know, that he's getting Tony Romo ready to play. So it's not that, you know, Drew Bledsoe's in his 14th year. It's not that he's going to be the quarterback, you know, 3 years, 5 years from now and on and on. I mean, Tony Romo, if plans go right, and if Tony Romo is the right guy, you know, in the next year or two, he'll be the starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. If he's not the right guy, the Cowboys have a long road.
Jerry Jones knows it. Jerry hired Parcells, and I mean, time just flies here. This is Parcells' 4th year already. Signed a 1-year contract extension through next season. And protection finally breaks down, and Lamar Marshall, sooner or later he was going to get there. And big number 98 on a 3rd down comes in and knocks him down at the 40-yard line.
You know, 2 things happen on that. One is you know, a back has to pass protect. And when you get a rusher on him, he has to be able to stop that guy. Marion Barber didn't on that play, and you see there was pretty good coverage downfield, and Drew Bledsoe had to hold the ball a little. But that's why, you know, we always talk about running backs and stuff that they have to do. One, they have to pass protect.
First time Bledsoe's been sacked. The Friars pick hauled in by Randall L., and Randall L. gets taken down by Singleton up at the 25-yard line. DC, Texas Stadium, home of the Cowboys, but not that much longer. 3 more seasons here, and under construction is their new playpen out in Arlington, within view of where the Texas Rangers play baseball. First down from the 25-yard line for the Redskins, and they start with T.J. Duckett, former Falcon, for a gain of 3 to the 28-yard line. Talking about Santana Moss and the fact he's been silent tonight. But last year, in the corresponding week, week 2, 13-0 lead Cowboys. Then last year, big plays, 20 or more yards, 40 or more yards on 10 occasions. That was the tops in the NFL, most since Torrey Holt back in 2000. And, of course, he had those 2 tremendous catches, 39 yards and 70 yards at the end of the game against Dallas in week 2 to lead them to that stunning come-from-behind upset win. And Duckett picks up 2 more yards, setting up a 3rd down and 6. And Coleman makes the hit.
Yeah, you kind of get the feeling that the Redskins are afraid to throw the ball. You know, they're going to have more success, I think, throwing on 1st or 2nd down than this time. I mean, they don't have a real run threat, so they're not going to threaten you to run. They run on 1st and they run on 2nd. Then they get in 3rd and long, and the Cowboys, they just go nickel defense. 4 down linemen and tee off on Brunell.
3rd down and 6. Dallas rushes 4. Brunell throws, juggled, but then caught, and Williams says no, and the officials come in and say no. Moss started to juggle it, looked like he was going to recapture it, but never had complete possession because Roy Williams was there.
False start.
And now there's a false start,
Offense,
so
the
crowd was so loud.
5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
There was no play. John Jansen with a false start.
John Jansen is a right tackle. And again, you get 3rd down, and these fans here in Dallas, they're like New York fans. They really understand their defense, and they've had defense for years, and you're going to make noise when your defense is on the field, and you're going to make real noise when it's 3rd and long.
And that's the case right here on 3rd down, 11.
And that's always toughest on the offensive tackles on the road.
Here comes the blitz, and the pass is thrown high. Try to get it to Moss. Newman stayed right with him, and the blitz forced the issue. 4th and 11.
Yeah, there's a guy who's done a real good job, is Terrence Newman. I mean, he's kind of been on Santana Moss the whole time, and that's who Bill Parcells wanted on him. Now, he does have help deep. I mean, it's a cover 2 type of thing, but they have really done a good job of taking Santana Moss out of this offense.
Derek Frost to punt. .25-yard line. Patrick Clayton to the 28th. Most valuable franchise in terms of worth in the league. And Jerry Jones, of course, the longtime owner of the Cowboys. And that is nearly intercepted. It is nearly picked off by Carlos Rogers on a pass intended for Owens. So Bledsoe got away with one there.
Yeah, Carlos Rogers played that well, and I think they made Drew Bledsoe force that one because they came with the pressure. Rogers, you see, was playing outside, and instead of taking the coverage, instead of following Terrell Owens, he undercut it. And then in doing that, I mean, that's a little gamble if it's thrown high, but if not, that's the interception angle he took.
2nd and 10 from the 28-yard line. Julius Jones. Oh, nifty running. Really good. And then Taylor forces the fumble. Picked up by Washington. So Sean Taylor, the safety, makes the tackle. And they're going to say that he was down. Let's just see what they're going to call here, because Tony Corrente has to go over.
By Dallas, recovered by Washington,
right.
1st down.
Okay, there's the signal. Just the way we saw it. Parcells, of course, is going to look up there and see if there is something that should be challenged here. I don't think there is yet.
Right, and Sean Taylor is some player. I mean, he hits to tackle, and he also, at the same time as he's doing the tackle, he takes that right hand, gets it on the ball, and just yanks it.
Liddell Betts is the running back here. Ball to the 39. Can the Redskins capitalize on this break? Great field position. Down by 7. Betts to the outside. And Betts with a good run here to the 23-yard line. And a 1st down for the Redskins, who are now charged up.
Yeah, they're charged up because the Cowboys, had them on the ropes. They had the momentum. They had everything going. And then they let them off. And here, you can just feel the momentum change here. Now, they haven't been able to run. They haven't been able to do anything. They get that stretch play where you stretch it, you run it out to the numbers, and make your cut on the numbers. 16-yard gain. 3:45 to go in the period.
Betts to the other side. He had more success running behind Samuels and Dockery instead of Randy Thomas and John Jansen. On that play, Roy Williams comes up to knock him down.
Yeah, they had the 2 tight ends on that side, so they tried to get a power and run where they had the double tight ends, and they just didn't, get that block. And we talked about Sean Taylor, and the plays that he's made. And then, on this side, on the Cowboys side, Roy Williams. So we're seeing 2 of the better safeties in football.
Meanwhile, you saw the rookie safety, Patrick Watkins, 5th round pick out of Florida State. He was shaken up. Keith Davis comes in to take his spot in the secondary on 2nd down and 11. Draw play. Betts to the 21-yard line. Jason Ferguson envelops him for the tackle. And it'll be 3rd down and 8 to the 21-yard line. Watkins back.
You get the feeling that Joe Gibbs is going into this game and win or lose, he's going to run the ball. I mean, at the end of the game, he's going to have 25, 30 runs. He's not going to have 17 again. But sometimes it makes you end up like this, 3rd and long.
He's run the ball 18 times tonight in a little less than 3 periods. 3rd down, 9 from the 21-yard line. And Brunell to the outside for Cooley, and it is picked off. Roy Williams. They had Cooley doubled, and Williams returns the favor as he gets it back to the Dallas Cowboys.
And Mark Brunell left too much air under that. Look at that. I mean, he just threw a high wobbler.
Williams comes back and intercepts at the 1-yard line. And the Dallas Cowboys will have a 1st and 10 from their own 1 with 2:12 to play in the 3rd quarter.
What do you think that thing was going up Roy Williams' shoulder pad?
Some sort of a cooling thing. And another flag here on the pass intended for Owens. Or some Gatorade IV. I think it's the coolest shoulder pads. Andrea, what do you know about that?
Funny you should ask. It's called the temperature management system. It's like the Matrix, isn't it? That's what it looks like, them hooked up to that. That's at least what Greg Ellis said. What it's supposed to do is cool their shoulder pads. There's cushions built in there, and they can hook up 12 guys at one time, so one unit can be cooled while the others are on the field. As Greg Ellis said, we're like cars, we overheat, and this cools their upper body.
Meanwhile, the defensive foul, 1st down at the 6-yard line. Temperature management system. Who thinks of these things?
I don't know, and I wonder where it was when I played and coached. Used to have an old water bucket or something.
From the 6-yard line on 1st down. And out to the 13-yard line. Jones tackled by Archuleta.
Watch Roy Williams. He's back here, and watch how much ground he covers now. Now, I think that Brunell, he kind of lobbed that thing up there, and he let Roy Williams get out there because it's not only the guy that's covering him, but it's the guy that's deep, and you can't leave the ball in the air that long so that a guy like Roy Williams can get over there and make a play like that.
2nd and 2 from the 14. Swinging out to Glenn. And he's got a 1st down, and you have another flag here with Kenny Wright coming in at the end of the play. And the flag will be on him.
Looks like it's going to be of the helmet or face mask variety, huh?
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask, defense number 25. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
And that's not the garden variety face mask either. That's the mugging.
Yeah, that's the 15-yard type when you do more than grab it. When you grab it and hold on and turn it. And that's exactly what Kenny Wright did. And Terry Glenn does a pretty good job of officiating. I mean, he catches a ball, rolls out of bounds, rolls over, and comes up pointing at him.
Well, this is now a big problem for the Redskins through the first 2 weeks of the season. Because penalties killed them last week, and they're killing them tonight. 10 of them. Jones goes nowhere. Final minute of the 3rd quarter.
Both these teams, I mean, you look at their outside receivers and you say, boy, this is an explosive unit. They got this and they got that, but they've played very conservatively, haven't they? And then, and again, good defenses by both sides, but I think that the offenses, have kind of throttled down a little.
Yep. On the case in last year's game, too, until Washington was forced to go deep at the end, and it worked. And that one gets knocked down. Bledsoe had it knocked away by Philip Daniels, who's noted for such things. He deflected or blocked 9 passes. 3rd and 10 from the 34-yard line.
Redskins have 6 defensive backs.
3-man rush. 8 in coverage. Dump off underneath. Barber gets a block. Gets the first down and takes it out of bounds at the 40-yard line of the Washington Redskins. That's a 26-yard gain on a 3rd down play.
Now you give Bledsoe time like that with a 3-man rush, and you let him, again, he's not a runner, and you try and spot rush thinking that he's going to be there at the 5-step drop, but the ends go up the field, and they stop that nose tackle right there so he can step up, see the whole field, and find Marion Barber.
3rd quarter is lots of verbs. Throw a few adjectives in there. And as we start the 4th quarter, it's Bledsoe going to Glenn for the touchdown. And boy, did the Redskins ever let the Cowboys off the hook. Starting at their own 1-yard line, they go 99 yards in a little over 2 minutes.
Terry Glenn was running free on that play. It's probably a blown coverage, but that's the time to do it. The quarter, you have that timeout, your 1st down, midfield, that's the perfect time to take a shot.
And that was after they picked up a big 1st down on the 3rd down call that ended the 3rd period. Then they go deep. Vanderjagt tacks on the extra point. Terry Glenn gets to the end zone on his 6th catch of the night.
And that's what speed will do. You watch Terry Glenn here. He's just going to start up the field and then go across. He held Taylor there for a minute, got behind the corner. The linebacker was the deepest guy, and the linebacker was the closest to him.
And that's a dream when you're a wide receiver like Glenn, that a linebacker is the closest guy to you.
The closest guy is the middle linebacker, Lamar Marshall.
And there was Owens on the other side.
I was just going to say, that's what they had to do, is getting him in slot, because when they had them both outside, the Redskins had just been taking those outside guys away all the time.
Sweezum kicks off. Cartwright had the 100-yard return. Looks for a 95 here. Gets stripped up by Newman at the 34-yard line. And now Washington down by 2 touchdowns. So for Bledsoe, who's been the focus of almost all of the attention in this area over the week, Wither Drew, so far so good. 227, a good night. For Brunell, a 26.2 rating. Not that there's going to be a quarterback controversy in Washington yet, but when you look at who they have Todd Collins, who almost never plays, has been around for a long time, but was in the Kansas City system. But the guy of the future is Jason Campbell, the 2nd-year guy out of Auburn.
You're right, and he's the 3rd quarterback tonight. And Al Saunders was saying last night that he'll jump from 3rd to 1. I mean, he's not going to go 3rd to 2nd. He'll go 3rd, and then when he's ready to play, he'll be in number 1. They hope.
Here's Randall L., and that goes nowhere. It is sniffed out by Jason Ferguson. Just holding his ground. A big nose tackle right there.
And that's the key. I mean, and any 3-man line, you have to get that nose tackle block. And when the center just whiffs on him like that and lets him stand in the backfield, even a big Jason Ferguson can foul up and end around.
2nd down and 15.
I don't feel the Redskin offense has done anything aggressively.
No. 7 out of 18 for 64 yards is Brunell. A couple of decent runs. Their offense has been Cartwright's kick return, and that's caught by Betts. And they really haven't involved Cooley in the game. Chris Cooley tight end, H-back, whatever you want to call him. There he is. Caught 3 touchdown passes the last time these teams faced each other.
Right, and Joe Gibbs was saying last night that they didn't get the ball to Cooley last week against Minnesota, and he said that, he kicked himself for that. Well, he's probably kicking himself again, but I think if they're going to do anything, if they're going to break this thing open, I think Santana Moss has to break it open.
Just thinking the same thing, and Moss has 1 reception for 7 yards. He's also rushed once for 19 yards. Moss wide right. 3rd and 10. Flag. I think Moss moved before the play. Intercepted by Brady James to the 25-yard line. And they're going to say no play?
I think they're going to say illegal movement before the ball was snapped. I think they're going to say they blew the whistle before the ball was snapped.
There was no play. False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
At the pick there, Cowboys would have already been in field goal range, and that would have made it a 3-possession game.
Look at this formation. They have full house backfield with 3 wide receivers. You know that they're going to break this up. I mean, they're in shotgun with 3 guys there by Brunell. They're not going to stay that way. Nope, there goes the shift.
Gives Brunell a chance to look at the base defense, but then defensively the Cowboys adjust. Pressure on Brunell, and he's going to get sandwiched. Greg Ellis from one side and DeMarcus Ware from the other side.
Greg Ellis likes that position now. He wanted to be a defensive end, but if you can play out here like this, and here they are. They are defensive ends right here. The 2 outside linebackers on nickel become the 2 defensive ends. And you say, what's Santana Moss doing? Here's the coverage on him right here, but Brunell didn't have a chance to get it to him. As I said, Terrence Newman has been doing a good job of covering Santana Moss too.
Frost's kick. It's going to back Newman up. And Newman will bring this one back to the 36-yard line. Tackled there by Adam Archuleta. Dallas has the ball. Dallas has the lead. 12:26 remaining in the 4th period in Texas. Them in a second. At the 35-yard line, the Dallas Cowboys now in control, up by 2 touchdowns. You can start thinking about the clock and picking up some first downs as well. Julius Jones for a gain of 12. All right, CC, your take on this one from where you sit tonight.
The only thing I could say about that one is I'm really surprised they're not coming after Drew Bledsoe a little bit more. If you watched the Jacksonville game last week, the mistakes that Bledsoe made came when he was under pressure. He was forced to move around a little bit. And at least so far, I haven't really seen Washington really make much of an effort to come after him.
I think there's a little bully theory there. That the Redskins, when they get you down, when they get you in tough situations, they tend to go after you more than when they're in a tough situation.
Here's Julius Jones. I'll tell you one thing, Chris. In Washington, and they've been talking about it throughout preseason, you bring in Al Saunders, gives up the play calling duties and all of that. They really weren't that efficient last Monday. They haven't been efficient tonight. That's going to be the story in Washington. What's your take there?
Well, and it should be. But Clinton Portis, I think, is a little bit bigger part of this offense maybe than anybody really knew. And for Mark Brunell, certainly the questions have to start now. Dallas certainly has a good defense, and I'm not saying that, that's the whole thing. But this is, how much money is in this coaching staff now? I mean, you got to think the coaches kind of know what they're doing. So the next thing is typically you start looking at the quarterback.
2nd down and 7 from the 49-yard line. And it's so funny. I mean, you start the game tonight going, there's a quarterback controversy, and it's in Dallas. And Washington, well, they got Campbell. He's down the line. Now all of a sudden, Bledsoe looks fine. They've got a bye week. He'll start the next game. You know that. But in Washington, they're going to start talking about this. Crazy.
It's just the way that it is. But I really think a big reason why that you saw that Washington didn't decide to come after Drew Bledsoe, if you watch the tape from last week, the Washington cornerbacks without Sean Springs in there just didn't hold up in man coverage. And if you're going to try and go out and blitz, that means man coverage. And I just don't think they thought they could cover Terry Glenn or Terrell Owens down the field.
Meanwhile, that pass is caught by Creighton. So on 3rd and 6, they convert. New set of downs. And, of course, Chris, go back and tell us what you think about the Giants-Eagles game today.
I'll be honest with you, I quit watching it. You know, there were a couple other good games that were going on. I flipped over and started watching Carolina, Minnesota, and all of a sudden they told me, well, you know, it's like tied up again. And so I went back and started looking at this thing. But it was amazing. I mean, the Eagles completely dominated this game from beginning to end. I mean, it was 8 sacks of Eli Manning. Donovan McNabb threw for 320 yards in just 3 quarters. Tiki Barber had 17 yards rushing in regulation. You think, oh, there's just absolutely no way. And yet they came back. They started getting conservative in Philadelphia with their offense. And the flip side was Tom Coughlin went to the no huddle, started doing the hurry up. The Eagles couldn't get their substitution in, and the thing just flipped over. It was just one of those remarkable momentum-changing games that happens about once a year in the NFL.
You know, for a guy who tuned out, you sure know a lot about that game.
He sure got caught up on it.
I've been reading the newspaper accounts.
Someone sure caught you up on it quickly.
Jones gains 2.
Well, they told me that you guys wanted to talk about it. I had to go get caught up.
2nd down and 8, 36-yard line. Jones, short side of the field, is going to pick up the first down. So the Cowboys with a flag down now, another flag, and that may be a hold here. Look like the rookie tight end Fasano.
Offense number 80.
Yep.
10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
He got engaged.
You know, isn't it something how running as the game progresses and the score widens, running always gets easier? You know, it's you know, tough in the first quarter, a little easier in the second quarter, a little easier in the third quarter. Then you get them in this situation in the fourth quarter, and everyone is a step slower. The defense isn't firing. They're not flying across there the way they were, and that's when you get a lot of your running yardage. Now, of course, you have to eliminate the Fasano hold there. You don't think Parcells is mad at him?
Well, when
you're a Jersey guy talking to a Jersey guy.
Right.
Anthony.
And a tight end from Notre Dame. You can only hope he's half as good as Bavaro someday.
Boy, Bledsoe didn't want to see that. You know, he was coming, he was turned to his left, and then he turned to his right, and right there was Marcus Washington right on him.
2 weeks NFC East, Chris. Your feelings right now about what you've seen in this division?
You know, I really don't know. I really thought the Philadelphia Eagles were turning into the team to beat. You watch them for 3 quarters a day, and they have their offense clicking and their defense with Jim Johnson, and you say, you know, they've got it going again. They have 2 lines on the defensive line, 8 sacks on the day, really bringing a lot of pressure. But it is going to be ultimately one on the defensive side of the ball, probably, between, you know, which of these defenses and which of these defensive lines end up dominating the most.
Meanwhile, there's Barber with a long game, maybe setting up a possible field goal attempt. Chris, you're done for the night, my man. See you next week.
See you next week.
All right. Good trip home. Chris Collinsworth.
Now we're going to see what Vanderjagt can do again.
Yeah, well.
Doesn't mean anything, though, does it?
Well, it's going to make it
24-10.
A 3-possession game, though. It turns a 2-possession game into a 3-possession game. So it's a 49-yard attempt. And Vanderjagt's kick is good.
I think he needed that.
Oh, he did. And so did Parcells, even though he'll never express it. You'll never see an expression indicating some pleasure on Bill's face. 50-yarder, as it turns out, for Vanderjagt. It's a 17-point game. Oh, for Mike Vanderjagt. Earlier from 26 to get the scoring started. Ex-Colt paying his first dividend here. Squeeze him into kickoff, and he's jacked up, and Cartwright downs it in the end zone with 7:43 remaining in the fourth quarter. See if Brunell can lead the type of charge that brought them from behind last year. The Lightning trying to go to 1-1. Washington trying to avoid going to 0-2. But it's going to be rough. They're down by 17. They start from the 20-yard line. 7:43 remaining in the fourth. Pocket holes, and then the pass is almost intercepted, intended for Moss. That's Aaron Glenn, 13th season, longtime Jet with the near pick. Washington in the second half. Ugly.
You know, if you look what else is ugly is Santana Moss, who's their playmakers, caught one pass. Brandon Lloyd, their new wide receivers, caught one pass. Randall Ellis caught one pass. Cooley has caught none. I mean, those are their playmakers. They haven't been able to get the ball in their hands.
And Brunell is averaging 3.5 yards per pass attempt. And that'll go down a little bit here, too, because Terrence Newman makes the tackle on Betts.
And the thing is, they came into this game and they wanted to be aggressive in the passing game, and they sure haven't been. Now, you can say, that's part of the Redskins, that's part of Mark Brunell, that's part of the offense, but you have to give a lot of credit to this Cowboy defense.
Redskins have 70 yards passing and 117 yards in penalties. And this is Betts takes the hit as he seeks the first down up at the 30-yard line.
See what the Cowboy defense is doing. They're taking away the guys that the Redskins want to go to and making them go to guys that they don't want to go to. And if there's anyone you have to get the ball to, and I've been saying this the last 2 quarters, it's Santana Moss, and they haven't done it.
From the 30-yard line, Brunell out of the shotgun. Over the middle. Again, it's Betts. And that's close to another first down up at the 40-yard line. And Washington going without a huddle. Brunell leading him up to the line.
You can see that Santana Moss is down here and Terrence Newman is on him, and he's done a great job on him all night, right here and right here.
First down there, high snap and a sack. Greg Ellis and flags. Let's see, a flag down behind the quarterback, a flag at the 40, and a flag at the 47. Unofficially, more multiple flags than any game in the history of the NFL.
Multiple flags are like compound sentences.
And they hurt as much.
There is no foul for offensive holding in the backfield as the defender ran through the attempted hold. Illegal contact, defense, number 26, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Aaron Glenn.
Greg Ellis, you'll see right here, he says that, he doesn't like playing linebacker position, but, he's not always a linebacker. That time he's a defensive end, and, he'll have a good chance of leading the Cowboys in sacks again this year from this position because, he probably rushes a heck of a lot more than he drops, and on passing downs, he's going to be like 80% of the time rushing.
From the 45-yard line, Brunell. And that's Moss. And Moss able to get between a couple of defenders and get the ball into Dallas territory. It'll be a first down at the 36-yard line with 5.5 to play.
Moss is coming out. He got something in his eyes. They got that rubber stuff in these fields, and it comes up. It's like tires. It's like little pieces of tire.
And he's out for at least one play, and Brunell's going to run out of room and throw it incomplete. So they work on Moss after Moss had caught only his second pass of the game.
And Brunell could do that, by getting outside the tackle box. Then you can throw the ball away as long as you get it at least up to the line of scrimmage.
Still work on Moss. David Patton. The Patriot is in the game.
And then he has that rubber in his eyes, that little specks of rubber that are in this field. Sometimes when they get tackled, that bounces up into their eyes.
Second down and 10. Screen. Betts inside the 30. And with a twisting move, is able to move the chains. He gets the ball to the 25-yard line. Tackled there by Aaron Glenn. Under 5 minutes now to play.
Aaron Glenn in there because he's a third corner, and when the Redskins go to 3 wide receivers, then the Cowboys want their third corner in there.
From the 25-yard line, Brunell throws, and that's taken in at the 20-yard line by Antoine Randall L, and he's able to get out of bounds. Tackled there by Terrence Newman as Moss now comes back into the game.
And this is an area where he's really a threat. I mean, this is, you know, again, we talk about your playmakers and who you have to get the ball to, and you know, and that's what you want. I mean, that's what these guys are paid for.
2nd and 5. Moss looks like he's been in a fight. And then Betts on the ground. And it'll be 3rd down. It's a pretty good drive, obviously, for Washington. They've done nothing tonight. The only touchdown was the run back, but they're taking a lot of time and they're picking it up in, you know, little pieces and chunks here. And they need, it's a 3-possession game. They need a quick strike. They're not going to get it here. Kenyon Coleman with a sack.
And they have a tough time getting a quick strike or any kind of strike because they can't pass protect.
Yep.
And then Brunell can't, you know, get rid of the ball, and he can't get it to the playmakers, and all those things that are just being compounded, you know, when you need 3 scores.
And now they're going to take a timeout here. A must convert here to have any chance. 4th and 7 when we come back.
Here's the stretch. And the beat.
You can log on anytime. Bledsoe will look on. Washington down to this. 4th and 7. Have to convert. Have to get some sort of score. Have to get an onside kick in all likelihood.
And then another score.
Yeah,
and then another onside
right.
kick.
But you know what? We were here a year ago, John. After that performance,
we've seen them.
Yep, that was a two-possession game, but nobody could have seen that coming either. Fourth down and 7 at the 22. And Brunell ingloriously gets sacked by Jay Ratliff. Jason Hatcher also in there, number 97 as well. And Washington turns it over on downs. Dallas up by 17. Out in the game, let's check in with Andrea.
Well, a few minutes ago, he jogged off the field. The Cowboys say he's in the locker room having his hand x-rayed, and they have not identified a specific play on which he was injured.
Yeah, we've taken a look back at a little bit of the tape trying to find it. Jerry Jones, it's the equivalent of a victory cigar when Jerry shows up on the field before the game is over.
And he knew the guy to congratulate because Terrence Newman did a great job tonight on Santana Moss. Great job.
And a great job on special teams as well.
He did. Roy Williams. I mean, that whole Cowboys secondary did a good. Well, the linebackers did, and the front four did. I mean, you know, they played them that 3-4 on rundowns, and then they went to the, you know, 4-man lion pass rush on passing downs with the nickel defense, and the combination of those two things really darn near made the Redskin offense inept.
It has been, and again, you look at the 10 points. If you have him with us the whole way, 7 of them came on a 100-yard kick return by Rock Cartwright. So the offense has 3 points. They had 16 points last week against Minnesota in a loss. We're going to have a player of the game, and we're going to put him right on the top of the rock at 30 Rock. There it is. Game number 2.
That's a pretty classy deal.
Yeah.
I mean, when a player gets his picture put up there at the top of the rock, well, you've come a long way when you get up there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
When you go from a horse trailer to the top of the GE building.
You know, Terry Glenn and I are brothers in something. You know what it is?
No. But I'm buying it here.
Well, he had the same thing. He was telling me when he was at Ohio State, he couldn't fly. And I didn't know this, but he just told me the other day that he drove to every game. And
when
the
he was
coach
at Ohio State?
Yeah, at Ohio State. I mean, he'd practice on Friday, get in the car, drive to the game because he didn't want to fly.
So what got him through it? I mean, he had to start flying when he.
Well, then he got
in
in pro football, and he said, you know, he's better now. He's over it, and you know, I'm at a point now where I don't take counseling and guidance, so I didn't ask him how you did it. But at one point, he and I were in the same place. We stayed on the ground.
You know, I'm going to get you in a plane one of these days. Gain of 2. I'm not saying we're going to take off, but I want to at least get you in the plane.
I was on a plane. I got on a plane. I had a charter group came from Oakland for the Hall of Fame, and someone thought it would be a good idea if I would go meet the plane. So I went, and after the plane landed and got set and everything, I went in and said, "Welcome to Canton."
Let me tell you, for people who have to fly a lot, we're all jealous of you. You're way ahead of your time, John. Way ahead. Empire State Building. About, maybe 10 blocks away from the GE building. After the next break. Because we don't need to touch that dial.
Yeah, don't let out all your hose till you know where the fire is.
Nope, 2nd down and 8. This is Tyson Thompson. And I'll tell you one thing about the Redskins. I mean, there's going to be a lot of teeth gnashing in Washington right now. They're going to be 0-2. The offense pretty inept. There's going to be a lot of talk about a lot of things there. I know one thing. They go to Houston next week and they lose that game, then you'll really see some teeth gnashing.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough because they're not very good. And they're not very good offensively. Now, I know not having Clinton Portis is a big part of that, but and not being able to get the ball to your receivers, to your playmakers, that's a waste of having playmakers.
3rd and 4. They have to run one play before the 2-minute warning. That's the snap and the give to Thompson, and that's going to take us to the 2-minute warning, which comes officially at the 1:57 mark.
For the one guy we just had a picture of, Joe Gibbs, I know that, as he'll say, this is eating his guts out.
Matt McBriar gets the kick away. Lindelof calls for the fair catch, and it cannot be saved before it gets into the end zone. That's Jacques Reeves. But it's moot right now because Washington's going to get the ball. They don't have a timeout, and they're down by 17.
And they had a short week. They played, Monday night and then playing again on Sunday. My best guess is offensively they don't have the right players playing. But I don't know that they have the right players. I mean, what I'm talking about is a quarterback position.
Yeah. And again, the other thing, to keep in mind is you don't have a Portis. And that's really gigantic with this team. Christian Fourier makes the catch here.
And that was the thing that, I said before the game, that without a Clinton Portis, Betts isn't going to be Portis. There's no way he's going to be Portis. So it's going to go on Brunell's shoulders. So that's what it is. I mean, that's the reality of it. You don't have your best back. Now your quarterback has to pick up the slack.
And that pads the stats, but that's all that will do is Chris Cooley, who has not been a part of the action tonight, winds up making a 23-yard reception. First catch for him. Final minute of the game. And that's Moss making the catch at the 31-yard line.
See, Flozell played pretty well. I mean, Flozell was Flozell Adams was in Bill Parcells' doghouse and didn't play very well last week, but he played very well tonight.
Bill Parcells has a doghouse?
Dallas.
He got a big old dog that last week fit a lot of guys.
He's got the whole SPCA and always has.
And it's 3 levels. It's not just a doghouse with one level.
Yeah.
You got your 2nd level and your 3rd level.
Through the years, I'm trying to think of anybody who's played for Parcells for any length of time who hasn't been in that doghouse at one point or another. I think he just likes to put you in there once in a while just to remind you there's a doghouse here.
The closest guy, and because he would leave the reservation once in a while, was Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
I mean, that he was so good, you know, that Bill would like to put him in a doghouse, but I was around him a lot in those years, and I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think he ever did.
You got to know who you're putting in the doghouse, don't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like the old deal. How many players do you hold the bus for? That's the old saying.
Yeah.
You know, they used to recruit the great running back. Hey, this kid's so good, you'll hold the bus for him.
By the way, we'll hold a plane for you tomorrow. Here's Brunell throwing, and that's caught by Moss. And Moss gets taken down to the 7-yard line. Let's see if Washington can get a cosmetic touchdown at the end of the game, which may mean something to a few people. It just may.
I know what people are thinking, you know, they watch us and they say, you know, why does it look so easy now? Why didn't they do what they're doing right now the whole game?
Yes.
Because the defense obviously wasn't, you know, playing like they were the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's been true tonight, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Santana who? Terrence Newman had a lot to do with that, but so did that Cowboy pass rush. I mean, they were pretty doggone good. DeMarcus Ware, Greg Ellis, push up the middle from Ferguson.
Second and goal. We got a few hearts beating around this great land of ours, and that is tipped away by Patrick Watkins, the 6'5" safety. Third down and goal.
We were talking about Patrick Watkins the other day at practice with Bill Parcells, and he asked me, have you ever seen one like him? You know, like a tall, thin, 6'5" safety. And the only guy that I could think of that was close to him is, remember Merton Hanks for the 49ers, but no one agreed with that one. I brought up Michael Downs, Steve Atwater.
Watkins has longer legs but a much shorter neck. Brunell. And with a flag, all kinds of, well, that's the way it should end. I mean, we've had nothing but flags all night long. It's going to end, barring a defensive foul
Holding
on a sack.
Offense number 76. The penalty is declined. The game is over.
That's John Jansen. And that's kind of a fitting end to a game in which the Washington Redskins had over 100 yards in penalties. Their total yardage for the game was 245, and a lot of that was just junk yardage in the last two series. The Dallas Cowboys win it, and win it pretty handily. 27-10. More coming up from Irving after this.
An outstanding job. Roy Williams, you know, made all those tackles and got the interception down there. And Terrence Newman, an outstanding job on Santana Moss.
Andrea has Roy Williams, but first an update on Terrell Owens. Andrea.
A quick update on Terrell Owens. He's still in there having his right hand x-rayed, so we'll keep an eye on that. Now, as for the game, start off with Roy Williams. Huge interception on the 1-yard line. What happened on that play?
I was playing in the middle of the field, and I seen Cooley doing a wheel on a receiver. I mean, on our corner, and I read Brunell, and he just threw it up, and I just went over there and got it.
How were you able to keep their playmakers, specifically Santana Moss, from really doing anything tonight?
We didn't do anything we didn't do anything different we did last year. We were out of position someplace last year, and this year we wanted it, and we fought hard all 4 quarters, and we won it.
Thanks very much. Drew, more connections with Terry Glenn than any other receiver in your career. What went into the 40-yard touchdown tonight?
Oh, it was a great play design by our guys. Good play action fake, and then I saw Terry, and there was really nobody there, so I just floated the ball in the back of the end zone for him, and he ran underneath it.
All right, you heard it all this week. Talk about possible quarterback controversy with Tony Romo. How much do you think you silenced that talk with this performance?
Oh, I don't know, probably a week. That's the way. That's what it is in this league. When you play the position of quarterback, things don't go well. But you step up and you take it, and you try and play better the next week, and hopefully we can keep going. All right, thanks, Andrea. Good.
Yeah, he's a class act, and he's right too. Very honest answer. 27-10 the final. Owens caught 3 passes tonight, but none over the last 50 minutes of the game. Next Sunday we go to New England. The Pats are 2-0, and they're going to host the 1-1 Denver.